we have South Decatur High School playing down the road. Going to go down to Seymour today for the regionals. That tip-off is at 1 o'clock. So if you don't have anything going on, head down to Seymour and support South Decatur Cougars as they take on Hauser in that basketball regional. Again, that's today at 1 o'clock. So we are excited for the Cougars down there to make some noise and continue their success. Also with me in the studio is a member of the North Decatur cheer squad who are recently the MHC cheer champions, Mallory DeHaven. Good morning, Mallory.
Good morning.
Let's talk a little bit about, explain to listeners out there and viewers watching on YouTube, what takes place at this cheer competition. How's it work?
Right. So the MHC competition is essentially a competition where all the cheer teams in our whole conference come together and compete our game day routine, which is not all of the crazy elite stuff. It's more of band, chant, cheer, and your fight song to really represent your school.
Now, how many schools were there?
There were 7 this year. This was the first year that all 7 were able to come.
Wow. Big turnout, big crowd?
Yes, definitely. We were worried about seating.
So just take us through that whole day and how that process works.
Right. So we started preparing for it and setting up the night before because we hosted it at North Decatur. So we put all the mats out, set up the vendors, all that stuff, made sure schools had a place to sit. And then the day of, all the schools get there before the doors open to warm up their routines, which kind of gives them a chance to process what they need to do if they need to fix anything before everyone gets there. And then doors open, there's vendors, there's food, everyone's waiting for it to start. And then when it starts, the first team to compete will go out, do their thing, and then others will follow. And then after everyone's routine is done, while the judges are adding up their scores, there's some fun little competitions, like there was a tumble off, jump off, an extension hold to see who has the best stunt group, and just fun little awards like that to waste time while the judges are scoring. And then the awards happen, and yeah.
So you are one member of that team, so why don't we try to, if you can remember, let's try to not forget anybody. Let's go through the list. Who's on that cheer squad? Let's give them a shout out.
So we have 4 seniors this year, 4 amazing seniors, Callie, Ava, Layla, and Marley. And there are 3 juniors, myself, Madison, and Riley. And then I believe 4 or 5 sophomores, Skylar, Abby, Sasha, Riley, and Alexandria. And then 4 freshmen, Callie, Haley, Melanie, and Hazel.
Okay. It's a big squad.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You said 4 seniors this year?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. They probably took off on spring break
Yeah.
early. Yeah,
Yes.
I assume so.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just talk about how you guys prepare. How do you prepare for a game? You know, I asked that question to that, basketball, football, whomever on here.
Mm-hmm.
How do you prepare for a game day? Take us through a typical game day with cheer.
So after school gets out, most of our games are on a school day. So we'll go and we'll get food and we'll kind of get ready and stuff. And we'll get there about an hour before the JV games start, for basketball specifically. And we'll warm up all of our stuff. We'll go through our spots and everything. And then we'll go do the JV game. And then if we need to warm up anything else, we'll do that in between games. And then varsity starting lineup, national anthem, and do all of our material during that game.
Now, your guys' season is long, right? You just have one cheer squad?
Yes.
So, how do you stay prepared the whole season? Because you guys got football, and then you go straight from football to basketball. How do you stay focused that whole
I feel like, for me personally, kind of just remembering, what I'm doing it for, the whole school, because, like you said, it's only us. We don't have a separate team for football and basketball. So just remembering, if you look up in the stands, you can like see little girls like copying you, and it's always so fun to remember that. And that's really like important for like being motivated from summer to spring. That really helps.
Is it tough? How do you handle, you're a junior, you're one of the leaders. Mm-hmm. How do you handle when you're doing a cheer and you're just looking in the crowd and there's zero response?
I've had lots of those situations.
Is that really awkward,
before.
And how do you overcome that?
It's not really awkward because you're doing it as a team, so no one's gonna like point you out and like make it awkward for you, but there definitely has been times where I was like, oh, this is a little embarrassing, but you just get over it and just move on to the next. Usually there's some like hype play coming after, so the crowd gets into it after.
So is it, in your opinion, is it harder to cheer when there's a small crowd that's not really responsive, or the large crowd?
I think definitely a small crowd, because you just can't get into it as much as you can with a large crowd. My favorite crowds are football sectional crowds. They're amazing. They're always so loud and energetic, and it's so much better than a small one.
Okay, so I guess I stand on that. I was trying to. Do you guys rotate? I know you guys have some like high flyers, some flippers. Does all that rotate, or is it like the other sports where each girl has her own position all year?
We definitely rotate a lot. We've had, let's see, at least 4 or 5 flyers this year that have only been flyers in their whole life try stuff like basing, which is lifting up the flyer, and even back spotting, which is kind of stabilizing the whole group, helping them really get the stunt up. So me personally, I've been doing a lot of basing in pyramids, which is 3 stunt groups together to make something even cooler than you can do by yourself. But it's really funny seeing, we've had a whole stunt group of flyers before where every single person in that has been able to be a flyer. So definitely rotating.
So everybody gets experience at each spot and everything. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, how do you, again, who picks your, and these are probably dumb questions, but who goes through the cheers? Does your cheer captain pick everything, or is Coach Morse in charge of it, or?
We usually come up with things together, kind of. It's like a process. We don't have captains, so it's just like everyone gets put in their input and just decide what's best. So lots of people will like recommend a cheer to do or a stunt to do, and it's really like cool to see it all like come together when we just work together.
And do you have special cheers, like, okay, we're down 20 points, let's do this cheer? You know, it's a 1-point game, we need to do this cheer. So are there certain cheers or certain game situations?
I think so. For like a really close game, like that's towards the end, we love to do up on your feet, and everyone in the crowd will stand up and start clapping along with us. So that's kind of the main one we do. I can't really think of any other ones, but yeah.
All right, favorite game this year. Did you have a favorite? Because you guys are done, right? The MHC is kind of like your Super Bowl, your sectional, your whatever, and you guys won. Great job. So you guys are done, and you shut down and do your summer workouts just like everybody else. So, what was your favorite game this year or ever that you've done?
It's definitely a football game. I think my favorite was the regular season Milan game when we hosted at home, and it was like we were losing by like a touchdown or something with like 5 seconds left, and Corbin returned it for like 99 yards, and that was really fun to like the crowd hyping up for that one.
Oh, I know the game you're talking about. Yeah, Corbin returned they punted the ball and he returned it for the touchdown. You guys win.
That's really fun.
That's a big game. You have you got a favorite basketball game or favorite memory so far?
Definitely any of the South games, boys or girls, here or away. The South games are always amazing. I love them so much.
Do you see a difference in those environments when you guys cheer the girls' games and cheer the boys' games, or is it pretty much the same crowd?
Actually, not really. We always when we go to South, there's our whole sides of the bleachers are always filled. The cheer
Mm-hmm.
blocks filled, like no matter what, and it's always close games. So.
Yeah, those rivalry games are always close, and it doesn't matter whose record's what. That's going to be one of the more
Yes.
aggressive, closer, um, energetic games of the season. Um, so what do you do when you're in those games and you guys are cheering back and forth? Do you work with say South Decatur? Do you guys work to do any cheers together on those games, or is it just you just mainly focus on your cheer squad?
We're focused on ourselves pretty much. Like, we'll be like warming up in the same area before, but we don't really do stuff together. But they're always amazing. Their stuff always looks really good, and they do a really good job.
Okay. Again, we are talking with one of the members of the North Decatur cheer team. They are fresh off their MHC cheer competition or cheer championship. What's the exact title of that? Competition. The MHC, which is their conference cheer competition, where they won that whole competition overall. And it takes place at the end of their season. It's kind of like their sectional, regional for this area. So, again, we're talking to Mallory DeHaven, and she's here. And I think the rest of her team has taken off the spring break a little early, so we appreciate her joining us here just to talk a little bit about cheer, some things going on. So, Mallory, so what do you guys do in the off season? Which do you guys camps, clinics? Take us through the off season.
So our off season is pretty short because we'll end in March and then we'll start back up again practicing in June. So our off season, we just do nothing. But in the summertime, it's pretty much getting down the basics, getting down your basic motions, your basic stunts. And we do have a cheer camp. It's usually 3 days, like 9 to 3 or something like that. And we really do learn a lot of stuff there. I think that's one of the biggest things that helps us develop as a team, because I know in the few camps I've done, I've always learned so much, and you really like discover what you can do, like stunt-wise specifically. So
do you guys, is that one that's in-house, or do you guys go anywhere for a clinic or camp or anything?
We stay here, but the Marian University competitive cheer team, that's who we've done it with for the past 2 years, I think. They come here. They're great. They're amazing. I love them. They're more our age and our like realm, so they really help us and like associate with us like for what we need to do.
Oh, that's cool. So they actually come down from
Yes.
Marion.
There's like 4 or 5 of them that come down.
And they actually run the clinic right there. Yeah. I'm assuming in North Decatur.
Yeah.
And then you guys don't have to travel and stay overnight and everything. That's pretty cool.
Really
and that's
nice.
Usually a week long.
Yeah.
So do they stay down here, or they drive back up? Or?
They drive. They like all. I see them every day, like leaving in their van to go back. It's only like an hour away.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but still, that's better than everybody packing up and staying for a week and everything. Keeps the cost low, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, you guys, a short off season. You said just about a month, give or take there,
months,
and then you guys go back after it. And that's what I was telling our listeners and those of you watching YouTube is cheer, as you just heard, starts into May, June, and runs all the way through. Literally, you guys got done 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
So it's an insane season. That's probably the longest season they have. So the schools have. So all right, we're going to pause real quick, listen to some of our local ads, and then we'll be right back on the air with Junior Mallory DeHaven. This is Overtime. I'm Nick Messer. Welcome back to Overtime. I'm your host, Nick Messer. Joined in studio this morning by Mallory DeHaven. She is a member of the North Decatur Cheer Squad who recently has just won the MHC competition. That is her conference end of the year competition. So again, congrats to them. I also want to reiterate that the South Decatur Cougars boys basketball team is playing in the regionals today at 1 o'clock. That is down at Seymour against Hauser. That is a 1 o'clock tip-off. I know WTRE will be calling that game, so you can tune in here to listen as well. Or you can just take that short drive. That's not a bad drive down to Seymour, and check it out for yourself. So get back here in the studio talking to Mallory DeHaven. Again, she's a junior at North Decatur High School, just discussing some cheer things. And she brought to my attention that they actually have other competitions against some rather large teams, and you call it extreme routines.
Yeah.
Let's go over that. Let's find out what extreme routines are for those of us who don't speak cheer.
So the extreme routine is very different from our game day routine, which is what we competed at MHC, which is like your band chant, your fight song, your whole school like spirit thing. But the extreme routine is composed of a little bit different elements where you have basket tosses, which is when you physically throw a girl up in the air and she does some sort of thing. Elite stunts, which is just much more advanced stunts rather than your basic ones. A pyramid, which is always one of my favorite parts. And then a dance, which is kind of self-explanatory, but there's also a cheer in there that we do as well, just to keep it grounded, like with your school. But it's much more like action going on. There's tumbling, there's jumps, there's everything you can imagine. And that routine we do at other competitions, like I said, not at MHC. We do about 4 other ones a year, and we pretty much compete both of our routines at all of those competitions. But the extreme routine is what we spend most of our time on. I feel like practice-wise, we usually do stunts that we're gonna do at the competition, and we also perform those elements of our extreme routine at games as well. So we're really prepared to do them in front of a crowd.
And so where do those competitions where you're really working that, where do those take place?
So we had 2 in, I don't remember the exact names of the towns, but down by the river by Louisville.
Okay.
And then 1 at South Dearborn, and then 1 at, New Washington, I believe is the name of it.
Okay.
So they're like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours.
Not bad. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about the competition, because you guys are 1A, mm-hmm. and you're going to these competitions, and you were telling me off air that you guys were hanging with schools like Center Grove.
Yes.
What's some other schools that you guys compete against in those?
There's Bloomington. Those Bloomington schools, they're always really good.
Yeah, North and South.
Let's see. Austin, I believe is the name. Just schools that you go to and you look at them and they have 25 girls that all their routines just look amazing. And most of those schools go to nationals as well, which we do not compete at nationals. That's where you go to Florida or wherever it is and mm-hmm. you compete for a national title.
So really, what I hear when you say that is cheer is just like all the other sports. Mm-hmm. Is Coach Morris has you guys in competitions with stronger, mm-hmm. faster, maybe better teams or squads to get you guys ready, just as if football and basketball would play the 3A, 4A schools,
yeah.
or the tougher teams to get them prepped for sectional. Coach Morris kind of does the same thing and gets you guys ready for your competition mm-hmm. By competing against these bigger, tougher schools. So if you're looking for a correlation on cheer and sport, there you go, right? Mm-hmm. And massive, huge season because, you guys have one squad, so you go again. You go. Would you say off season starts into May, June?
Yeah.
And then you guys run all the way through. You just ended 2 weekends ago with the end
Yeah.
of the year competition, so that's all the way through April.
It's a really long time.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool when you make that comparison. That kind of gives people a visual of what's going on in terms of, they're building their schedule just like other sports. They're trying to get better just like all the other sports, and increase that competition again, playing for their end of the year competition that they just won this year. So did you guys win any of the competitions on the individual competitions? Did you guys win any of those that day?
So I actually can't remember
Yeah, I
because
can't either.
they all just kind of blend together for me at some point. But I do know that even if we may not have won a competition or we were like the only one competing in our division, so it was kind of like a guaranteed win or whatever you want to call it, all of our scores are pretty much like comparable with these huge 3A, 4A teams that compete everywhere. So we kind of hold our own against them, even if we don't always win.
Okay, and that's good. You guys are competitive, and like I said, Coach Morris plans it just like Coach Metz or Coach Stern would for you guys, and put you up against the best competition, make you guys better.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears and talk about you as you ended your junior year, ending your junior year here, both in cheer and school. So you're getting ready to be a senior.
Yes.
Obviously, so let's just touch on what are some goals or aspirations that you have for next year's season?
So some of my goals for my senior year, let's see. I just want to be a really good leader because we don't have captains, but the seniors are always great like role models for the rest of the team. So I just want to be a great leader for my team and not I tend to be like bossy sometimes, but I'm trying to just be like the best I can be like for the good of them.
And so when you're done next year, and you're done, what do you want your legacy to be? How do you want those underclassmen, those future cheerleaders that are coming up through all those cheer camps, the ones where you see all the little girls running around from kindergarten through, 3rd, 4th grade. How do you want them to remember you when you're done in North Decatur?
I want them to remember me being for like the best I can be like all the time, like putting in 100% effort when nobody else wants to, or like doing something when no one else wants to, and just kind of always keeping up my spirit around them. And my whole team, we always like are laughing together and everything, so I want them to be able to have fun together as well.
Okay. So do you have a pregame routine, meal, song that you listen to every time? Really? What you got?
I always, before we warm up our material, I always go to Subway by the Marathon gas station. They know my order by now. I'll walk in there and they'll look at me and I'll be like, and then during the JV game, because the varsity cheerleaders, 11th and 12th grade, sit on the bleachers watching the JV cheerleaders. And I'll always get Airhead Extremes and a popcorn, and that's usually my ritual.
So what's your order at Subway?
I get a 6-inch with turkey, salami, and extra American cheese, and a Gatorade.
Okay. So what's your go-to? Do you have a go-to song on game days, or does the squad have a go-to song on game days?
I feel like all of our music tastes are a little different. When someone brings like a speaker or something, they'll play completely like just random
put it on
stuff.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite song that you guys have a routine to?
A band chant that we dance to. I love Land of a Thousand Dances. If you'd listened to it, you'd hear it before. But we have a cute transition in that dance that I really love. It's like little diamonds that move. It's hard to explain. You'll have to come watch it.
There you go. Good way to get the plug in there. Good job. What about, let's go the opposite real quick. What's the situation, like your most embarrassing moment? You want to share that one, or is it?
I can share that, yeah. I
Or if you don't want to, like, what song is the worst you ever danced to? Like, you guys come out and you thought it was a good idea, and then you're like, oh man, this was not. Do you have anything like that?
An embarrassing moment. I actually haven't had that many, I feel like, but my freshman year, it was my first football game, the first game of the whole season, very first stunt for a timeout that we did, and I fell in it, and we just had to get back up and keep going again. But I think that was the only time I've ever fell at a game. But a song, I think just when it's a away game and the other team's band is just like subpar and you're just there and it's kind of awkward because you're just clapping and it's just gets a little awkward, but really not that many embarrassing moments for me.
So is it, just staying on that note, I know we're kind of hit or miss in our questions this morning, but just how is it when you go to those visiting schools and you know their cheer squad's going to get more floor time, bigger floor time? Is it awkward all the time, or is it just like they do them and you do you? And
I think back to earlier when it was like small crowd, big crowd. If it's an away game and the home team crowd is just huge and energetic and everything, and like say we're losing and our team is just sitting down and just like staring into space, it gets a little awkward when you're out there and you're smiling and you're trying to just like keep up the spirit. But I think the biggest thing for me is just remember the why I'm doing it and just kind of keep everybody in good spirits.
So how important is the infamous cheer blocks? How important are they to you guys? Like, do they get you motivated?
I think our cheer block, we don't really have one for football season. Sorry, there's like 10 people that are in it, but I don't know. The joy of football like overrides my need for a cheer block anyway. I love football season. But basketball, we definitely started out a little rough in the cheer block, but it has gotten better towards the end of the year. Our sectional crowd, I was kind of disappointed though that they didn't have more people come with them, but maybe if we start up the fan bus again, it will come back.
Maybe. Maybe. I know you guys had that a couple years ago. Coach Stern helped with that, in his off season. Yeah, fan bus was a good idea. So what I heard was, yes, that the infamous cheer block does impact the environment.
Yes.
So start showing up there, students. Build that cheer block. All right, Mallory, again, we're joined in studio by Mallory DeHaven, who is one of the members of the North Decatur cheer squad, who recently just won the MHC competition. We're just discussing cheer and what they go through, how long the season is, and a bunch of other stuff, just to get to know the world of cheer. And we've had a few of you ladies on earlier in the year, and I told you guys I tried to get you guys back on, and I think most of them have taken off for spring break a little early. I'm disappointed that overtime wasn't their priority, but, I guess the beach is more important for them. All right, what we do on here is we do a segment. Basically, you get to have your final timeout or call your final timeout, which is where you get to say whatever you want. Mallory, your thank yous and everything, so I will turn it over to you, and you can say all the thank yous you want and whatever you want to say.
I definitely want to start off by thanking Bree, our coach. She put so much time and effort into making us look good for games and competitions, so thank you to her. My whole team, this was one of my favorite teams I've had in the past 4 years of cheering. It's just amazing. Everyone's always laughing together, having fun and everything. My family for always coming to all my stuff, watching me, even if they don't really like it. And be ready for senior year next year.
Okay. All right. Well said. So again, we've had Mallory DeHaven in studio, and she's a member of the North Decatur cheer squad. And so thanks, Mallory, for coming in. I know you probably have better things you want to do. Your team did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just playing. It's rough getting up here and coming in Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. But thank you for coming in and shining light into the world of cheer, and we celebrating your MHC competition win and everything. So we'll switch gears again. We do have a regional game, so we have some other excitement, as you know, we are all Decatur County sports here. So we do have some exciting news. We have the South Decatur Cougars playing their regional game at 1 o'clock, and that is down at Seymour, and that is against Hauser. So if you don't have anything going on, go cheer on the Cougars, your local team that's left standing, if you will. If you can't go, WTRE is carrying that live. There will not be a visual. That would just be live audio. So that's going to be a wrap for us. We will be back next Saturday, hopefully. Same time, same place. I am Nick Messer, and this has been Overtime.